Hey guys, this is my first commentary, so please don't be too hard on me. I ran this fight with 2 tanks, 3 heals and 5 DPS. You need to have 1 tank at the bottom, which is where you can see me on now, and 1 tank goes at the top by taunting a spider down and just clicking on the web. It's simple. You want to have a healer follow you up after the tank goes up, and a DPS after that. And the reason for this is that you want to get Beth Tilac's health down to around 17 million by the time you hit phase 2, which is after 3 of her smoldering devastations. When she casts that, you just go down to the bottom and join the rest of the group. You'll see it shortly. This is probably the easiest fight for the lower gear groups in Firelands. Not that it's exactly easy, but it's the first boss we managed to down as a guild, and well, we were badly geared then, and it wasn't too difficult once you know the fight and everything. It was very easy for us. As you can see here, the top is really easy. I mean, there's a lot of AoE damage, and there are meteors that will come on the ground. You can see them now. The one that just almost hit me. I actually do get hit by one later into the video, but I mean, it just shows that it doesn't cause a wipe. You'll see that later on. This is after the first smoldering devastation. We just go down to the bottom and join the rest of the group, help with the ads, and you can see she fires down the AoE damage as well after you jump down. That stays until you jump back up again. We found it helped to have raid warnings called as well as vent, because not everyone reacts really fast to vent, and a big red warning in the middle of your screen is really helpful. Yeah, there you can see I get hit, and well, I just head straight back up. We recover from it somehow. Most of the time that's a guaranteed wipe. So yeah, I just go back up and you repeat this phase again, and then you will join the downstairs team after the next smoldering devastation. Keep dodging the meteors. They go on a random member at the top, so everyone up there needs to kind of know what they're doing. I mean, this is a fairly easy fight, as you can see. We just repeat the same thing over and over. I'd say the thing that only ever wiped us was phase 2, because that is tough. That's really healing intensive, and the tanks need to pop the right cooldowns at the right time, sort of thing. But I'll talk you through all of that later on. Other than that, there isn't that much to say about this. I mean, you can see it's simple. There's the second smoldering devastation. At times when you jump down, the webs will not attach to you when you jump down the middle, and you can take 60k fall damage, so be wary of that. And what I should have done there really was go into my cat form and take the slow fall, but I wasn't really concentrating enough. So yeah, you just join the downstairs team again, you help taunting the ads, you DPS the drone, you do anything you can to help. Innovate is good as well, if you're a druid. Anything that can help, really. Yeah, now we just repeat this phase. Phase 2 will start in around 30 seconds, so that's when I'll have something more to talk about. The healer was a bit late joining us there. That can be an issue. You need to have them taunted down really fast. And good vent calls really help between coordination of the healer and the DPS, because I mean, they want to get up as soon as possible, but you don't want the DPS taking your healer spot and your tank dying at the top. That's what happened to us a few times, and I found it helpful when we first started running this to make a macro telling the healer that I'm on the web. And this was really useful for our first attempts and the first few times we downed it. But then, like with all bosses, as you move on, you don't need certain callouts. You get used to the fight. It becomes easier in general, and this is something that we've done around 4 or 5 times now, which isn't a considerable amount, but it's not a huge deal. Here you can see the third smoldering devastation, which means phase 2 will start soon. You don't want to have any drones up when this happens, really. It can jeopardize your raid a bit. Obviously, I mean, the drones are harder to DPS down when you have a lower geared group, but I'll move on to phase 2 now. This is, for the tanks, it's a tanking spank, but you take huge damage. And she will put a debuff on you. I forgot the name of it, but it'll come up in a minute. I'll point it out for you. At that point, you have to switch the tanks, and the tank with the debuff has to go completely away from the raid altogether. You don't want to be anywhere near anyone. It should be up very shortly. You can see my raid UI in the corner. No one's really taking that much damage, but her damage does increase as it goes on, and of course we're really well geared at the minute, so this looks a lot easier than it actually is. Yeah, it's called the Widow's Kiss, sorry about that. So you can see the other tank taunts off me and just goes in the same position I was. I stand here. Popping Tranquility, Hymn of Hope at these kind of times is always good, as any raid member. Yeah, and you only go through about 2 Willow's Kisses, and like it's just 1 on each tank, and then she will usually die by the time she hits the 3rd. Also, the best time to pop Time Warp would be around 9 million. That's what we do. When we first tried it, we were doing it on 10 because it gets really, really tough. I mean, the last few million are just like a Zerg. The tanks just get completely stomped. Pally tanks are especially good here for their 20% AoE reduced damage. And the same with warriors and any tank really, but you know. I just prefer to have a paladin and a feral. Yeah, you can see now it gets really intense towards the end. But we have high DPS, so you know. Well, I will have other violence videos up soon, and you know, leave a comment giving me your thoughts and all that. Thanks for watching, bye bye.